Oh hey, it's Sabrina. So in this video, I thought I would kind of share with you 3 books that shaped my life as a young Latina girl. If you don't already know, September 15th through October 15th is the Hispanic Heritage Month, and I'm a Latina. My mom's side is Native American and my dad's side is either Spanish or Mexican. I don't even know for sure because I'm not in contact with him. Regardless, I am Latina, so I thought that I would kind of talk about 3 books that influenced my life as a young Latina girl. So let me just go ahead and share those with you now. The first book that really, I think, shaped me the most as a young Latina girl is Reading the House on Mango Street. I read this probably in junior high, and it's a coming of age story about a poor Mexican family moving into a house on Mango Street, obviously. And this girl moves into this house and it's not everything she thought it would be, and she kind of struggles like living in a small house with her family. And one of the things I remember sticking out about this book was the fact that this girl was really embarrassed and ashamed of her poverty, and I felt like I could relate to that so much because me growing up, I lived in a poor town and everyone was poor, but I felt like my family was even more poor because we lived in a mobile home or trailer. And so I was always really ashamed of all of like basically taking people back to my house because I felt like, I don't know, like that stuff mattered back then. And I had a lot of friends who had nice houses and parents that had good jobs and stuff. So as a young girl, that kind of really resonated with me, and I felt like I could relate to the character when it comes to, you know, that coming of age time period in your life when you're just overly sensitive and everything gets under your skin. So House on Mango Street, such a good book. If you haven't already read it, I would highly recommend it. I feel like, especially growing up in Texas, a lot of people there grow up reading that book because Texas has a really high Hispanic population. So if you haven't read it, do it. It's a really good book. The second book that I really enjoyed reading, I think I read this in elementary school, so I was even younger, was Esperanza Rising. And if you don't know Spanish, Esperanza means hope, and so Hope Rising. And the story, or the main character in the story, her name is Esperanza, or her name is Hope, and this story has a lot of tragedy in it, and I remember reading it and not really understanding or relating to what was going on in the story, because even though I grew up Latina and poor, I basically have been I've been American my whole life. I was born in America, and I feel like there are a lot of struggles that I didn't have to go through. And so Esperanza and her family are trying to cross the border, and they end up having to leave one of her family members behind. And so it's just a story of like her and her family and their poverty, and like basically the tragedy that strikes them while trying to make it in America. And so if you haven't read it, it's a very small book, but it's very powerful. The writing is absolutely beautiful. I would highly recommend it. And the last book that I read this one actually as an adult, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, that really stayed in my mind. I actually need to reread. It is not a book for everybody, and it is Don Quixote. Don Quixote? I don't know how to say that really, but this is basically, I don't know if I've seen the play for it. I saw the play and I really enjoyed it a lot more than the book itself. The book itself is really long and it's very wordy, and the book I think has like over 600 pages. I think it has even more than that, but it's a really long book, but it's a very good book, and if you love like adventure, you might enjoy it. So yeah, I just really enjoyed that book. I don't really feel like it shaped me as much as the other 2, but it is one of the books that I read that I actually enjoyed, and I would recommend to anybody if you haven't already read it, because I feel like a lot of people have to read it for high school or college. I did not. I read it of my own free will, and it was a lot, but I enjoyed it. So that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you are Latina or Hispanic or Latino or whatever, let me know down below. So maybe I can check out your videos, you know, so we can kind of support each other. I support all booktubers, but I think it's so fun seeing more diversity in the booktube community. So that is it. I'll talk to you very, very soon. And of course, thanks for watching.